Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody, from wherever you are joining. It's beautiful to have us all here. Beautiful to have us here. My name is Daniel Ajayi, and I am going to be the moderator of today's webinar. Wherever you are hearing me from, please make use of your comment section. If you are watching me from Facebook, from Instagram, from YouTube, just drop it on the comment section. Drop it on the comment section. Drop your name and where you are watching the live from. If you are watching from YouTube, ensure to drop your name and wherever you are watching from, as this helps us to and it's beautiful to have you here. All right, my name is Daniel Ajayi. Director of Elite DanBaba Global Limited. Yes, the creative director of Elite DanBaba Global Limited. I'm a brand strategist. I'm also a web developer. You have it on the screen. I was born with a deep desire to solve problems and create lasting impacts. I love to turn my why we have solved this web. Yes, thank you. That is just me in a few words. All right, like I said, if you're watching live from Facebook, from Instagram, please ensure to drop your name and your location. Let's keep a track on you. Like we know, I'm not going to be the only one to say much on this webinar. I'm going to have a guest join me. But before then, let me delve into why we are here. This particular webinar is a webinar that shows brand and businesses, number one, how to position themselves online. All right, I can see Mary Badamosi watching from YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm going to be starting from brand positioning. One of the key points and subtopics for this event, brand building. Yes, it's going to be a monthly webinar, and we are going to start looking into subtopics that deals with business owners, stuffs affecting business owners, entrepreneurs, brand, how you can leverage on a lot of resources and grow your brand. I can assure you that by the end of this webinar, you should have a lot and lot of take home from this webinar. So, like I said, we are going to be looking at the topic. We are going to be starting with the topic brand positioning, and then we are going to look into online presence. Positioning is how you want your target audience to perceive your brand, how you want your target audience to feel. What do you want them to assume when when they perceive your brand? When your name pops up, your brand name pops up, your image pops up, your logo pops up, how do you want them to perceive your brand? Yes, compared to your competitors. We all know Coca-Cola. When you mention Coca-Cola, when you mention Pepsi, we all know that Coca-Cola has distinguished themselves as a classic and family-oriented brand. So when you want to say, there's always a time in Christmas. Whenever there's a Christmas period or Easter period, any celebration period, there is always a bottle of Coke available. There is always bottles of Pepsi available. That is the way they presented themselves to their target audience. It is family-oriented based. And if you also mention Apple, when we mention Apple, like Apple devices, when you just say Apple, the first thing that comes to your mind is innovation, technology, innovative. Those are the kind of image, the kind of positioning that these brands have placed themselves. And there are reasons why brand positioning is very, very much important for businesses. Before I proceed, if at any time you have any question, please still make use of your comment box so that we don't miss track of wherever you are dropping your question or wherever you are confused. All right. There are reasons why brand positioning is very, very important for business. That is number one, is differentiation. It helps your business stand out in a crowded market. When you have positioned yourself in an area, in a field, in an industry, it makes you stand out. It gives you an option of standing out from every other person that is into the same thing, because you have known this is where I am coming into. This is where I want to solve solution. You have differentiated yourself from every other person, from every other marketing strategy anybody might put in place. All right. Clarity. When you position your brand, it gives you clarity. You communicate clearly. You'll be able to say, this is what I want to offer. This is who I want to, I want to, these are the people I need to come for this offer. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people from YouTube. Thank you so much. I think we have our audience from YouTube. Like I said, brand positioning differentiates you. It allows you to stand out. Number two, it gives you clarity. Being able to communicate your offer, because you have positioned yourself to a level where you know who are your target audience, how you want people to feel about you when they hear about your brand. That means you have, communicated clearly what you offer and what your brand stands for. Then we also have customer loyalty. When you position your brand to a level where you have built your customer, you have earned your customers' trust. Customers connect emotionally with your brand. All right. You can't be into many things. Your customers cannot assume this is what this person is into. You are making your customers confused. There is no way you can earn the trust of a customer like that, because they would feel you yourself don't know where you are going to. And when we are talking about key elements, we have key elements in brand positioning. When it comes to brand positioning, we have some key elements that you must not miss out. Number one is target audience. You must know who you are serving. And this is the mistake business owners continues to make. These are the errors they have been making. When you see your target audience, when you know your target audience, you already know what you want to offer. To get your target audience becomes easier for you. The reason why you keep on chasing a lot of audience on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram is basically because you don't know your target audience. And it is coming from the fact that there is an error in your brand positioning. You have not positioned your brand to the level where people can know what your brand offers, those solutions you want to solve, things you want to do. So it is when you have discovered that you can be able to say, okay, these are my target audience. I so ready to wear. I'm so ready to wear. I think they call it ready to wear. These are the level of age. These are the age range you want to sell this particular product for. It makes it easier for you to be able to keep a track on your audience. You are a tech expert, all right? You're a tech expert. You have a particular tech product. You know the particular age of people you are looking for. That is because you have positioned yourself for those audience. All right. So you must understand how you want people to perceive your brand. Apple cannot decide to launch a product today. They can't decide to launch a new iPhone today, and then they start targeting or positioning themselves for secondary school students. All right. They have their own audience. They know the kind of product they have, and they know the kind of people they want to sell it to. So you must position yourself to that level where you know what you are selling. You want people to know. You are trying to be detailed about what you want people to feel, how you want them to perceive your brand. So you must understand that for you to do that, you also need your customers' loyalty. Customers' loyalty does not come by magic. It comes by how customers have perceived you, how they have understood your brand. And when you are creating a strong brand positioning, you need to understand and know your audience. You need to understand your audience. You don't just create a product. You don't just create a product because you feel you want to make money from that product, or you feel somebody else is making money somewhere from that product. That is why you can see two people selling the same thing, and at the end, one person is making more money than the other person. Yes, of course, we see those things and those kind of options at severally. Two people might be selling the same thing, but one is making the most money. Then the other ones feel as if, what am I missing? What am I missing? You need to define that audience. You can't sell to everybody. You can't win all markets. And like I said, positioning yourself well to the market is one of the things that makes you understand who you want to sell to. So once you've positioned your brand well, you have given a feeling. We are still going to get to how you are going to make people feel about your business, how to give them that things they can perceive, how to bring up your business to a level where they can perceive what your brand really offers, what your brand can do to them. All right. So you must know your audience, understand their pain points. Like I said, two people selling the same product, and one of them is making more sales than the other. Still comes down to the fact that one of them has understood the needs of the audience. So he or she knows how to present his own product to that audience because he has understood his or her audience. He knows their pain points. He knows their desires. He also knows their values. So if you are both selling the same thing, then I understand what this person, this is what this person actually needs. I can decide to, craft my own design or come up with a kind of package that is going to suit that person needs. Meanwhile, the other person, is only concerned about making money or selling the product anyway. Anybody, you are not hitting the right audience. You are not marketing to the right audience with the right techniques. All right. So that I'm kind of fast. You have a lot. You have a lot to cover. But let me keep at a better space. Know your audience. Know your competitors. Study your competitors. Know what your competitors are doing right. You are in a market where somebody is making sales more than you. You need to understand the techniques and the strategy that other person is also utilizing, that is making that person look as if he or she is making more money than you. There are things you need to study about your competitor. That is why I always recommend to any of our clients that comes to us, you're telling us you want to start a business, this and this you want to do. I always ask them, have you observed this in the industry? Have you studied people that are also into this field that you are into? Some things like this is going to actually solve a lot of questions to you even before you start branding up your business. You want to sell the same thing that 5,000 persons have been selling in that same industry. You need to study them, know how they are making sales, know how their business techniques works, know how they strategize and deliver their services, know how they brand up their business. Right? You need to study your competitors, like I said. You also need to define your unique value. What do you offer that other persons do not offer? That is the best way you can enter any kind of industry. That is one of the key points I want you to take home from this meeting. You need to understand that you need to offer something that you feel others don't. All right? Or possibly you are selling the same product in another way. You can decide to do any of the two. Offer what somebody else is not offering, or offer the same product in another, creative way. It allows you to enter the market with a full force that this person knows what he or she is doing. Don't forget, like I said, when it comes to brand positioning means how you want your audience to perceive you, how you want people to read your business, how you want them to perceive your brand in their mind. Remember, when it comes to brand positioning, if you don't position your brand now, someone else is going to position their own brand, and you will not like where they are going to place you eventually. Your brand is not what you say it is. All right, your brand is not what you say it is. It is what your customers remembers it to be. So you're not going to come and tell us this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. It is what your own customers remembers your brand to be. That is you knowing to position your brand well. By the time they can mention your company name and people can say, oh, this is what this brand is into. These are those they satisfy. You have already won that industry. All right. That is the first thing I'm quickly going to share with us. Brand positioning. I hope I've been able to shed some light on that brand positioning part. We also have another key point, which is online presence and visibility. If your business isn't online, it is not visible. That is one thing you must also take home from this meeting. If your business isn't online, you are not yet visible in this digital age. And a visible business does not grow. A business that is not visible can never grow. The internet is the new place. So you need to be there or your business completely becomes, forgotten. Online presence is how easy people can engage with your business on the internet. Visibility is how often and effectively you show up in places your audiences are. All right? How you show up where your audience are. Okay? It is crucial for business because most customers search online before making a buying decision. That is one thing you should know. There are a lot of times I've done that. When something comes into my mind and I'm feeling I need this product, the first thing I do is to go online to research about that thing. So I go online several times, and there are a lot of businesses that pops up. There are a lot of answers to my question. So you must know that most customers search online before making a buying decision. Also, without making a strong online presence, you lose credibility. Most times, people buy from you because they feel you are trustworthy. And when they say they are trustworthy, when they say you are trustworthy, most of them might have never met you, but they are trusting you because they have gone through your profile. They've seen lot of posts about you, posts about businesses that you do. They have seen posts about businesses that you do. They have seen offers. Also, having a strong online presence and visibility helps you build trust and generate leads. It helps you build trust and the most money you can make online, the most money you can make from some of your products or services comes from those you don't even know. That is the truth. And I'm very sure 100%, 100% of us, not even 99 or 98, 100% of us here we agree that the most money you must have made out of your skill, the most money you must have made out of your skill is coming from those online, those you don't even know. But they've gone through your profile, they've read through your profile, any online social media management app you are using, and discover that okay, oh, they can trust this brand, and they can sales can come in from that particular area. And that can be your website, that can be your Google business profile, that can be your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, content platforms, YouTube, blogs, and podcasts. There are lots and lots and lots you can do from being online or being online. You are increasing your online presence. These things are not hard. Being online starts from you deliberately wanting to post on your social media per day, on your social media handles, I mean. When you wake up, you feel you're a business person, of course, and the world is going fully digital. You should by now have a Facebook account. You should by now have an Instagram account. You should, of course, have social media platforms, LinkedIn, where you can offer your services. You must be deliberate about posting on these platforms 2 to 3 times a day. It helps you improve your credibility and also show your products to thousands and millions of people at a time. All these platforms have made it so easier. All this platform has made it so easier for you to make sales even from inside of your room. There are a lot of people that doesn't even have a physical store, a physical office, but meanwhile they are making their most money. They are becoming valuable online. They are becoming more valuable in their industry just because they have utilized the power of social media presence. And remember, no matter the kind of social media presence you are building, if you have still not clarified the fact of positioning your brand the right way, all this effort might still equate to zero. That is why I started by explaining brand positioning. The easiest explanation I can give is just the way people perceive your brand. You can say I intentionally kept hammering on that word. When your brand name is mentioned, let them know what they feel, not you adding stitches to your clothes. Because I see a lot of fashion designers, doing that. You can decide to name your brand today, name it Elite Fashion. Naming it Elite Fashion just only makes users perceive it as a fashion brand. They don't have a full knowledge of that particular package or that kind of company you are building. For you to be able to build that brand position, I have mentioned a lot of things that you must do. I mentioned differentiation, standing out in a crowded market. I mentioned clarity, communicate clearly what you offer. There are a lot of people into one industry, even from their names, there's an error there. It's not because of the name you chose, but the way you have made people perceive that particular brand you are kind of building. You need to build your customer loyalty. You need to also improve. You need to know your target audience. You need to know your target audience. You need to study your competitors. Those are the ways of positioning your brand. Studying your competitors doesn't mean you are selling the idea. You're only using the idea and you're also being creative about the idea. There's a way you can copy somebody's idea and you can be creative about that particular idea. You build that idea, you turn it into something else. Meanwhile, you got the inspiration from that person, from your competitor. It's actually very good. So knowing your audience, being clear about what you want to offer, presenting your brand well, still boils down to you understanding online presence and visibility. You need to be online. At this digital era, the best thing you can do is to make your business go online. All right, so please let's go on a 30 seconds break. Let's confirm the availability of our guests. All right, close. We'll begin on the 30 seconds break now. Yeah, thank you for staying by. All right, the next section we are going into is going to be a clarity sections. A clarity section, and it's going to be a section for business legalities. Yes, business registration and legalities. I know that is one of the subtopic of this particular webinar, and that is business registration and legalities. Things you should know. before you even feel you are doing well in business. Legal things you should know, you know, so you don't become a full-blown brand and then you start having issues with legal issues for your brand. So we have Mr. Kelechi Ibe, our guest for the day, who is actually going to be using some minutes to speak about business legality. So I've known Mr. Ibe Kelechi to be a trusted person on his feed. He's currently the lead consultant at Toda Resort Limited. He's a young, innovative entrepreneur and a committed Christian, passionate about using his business as a tool for impact and transformation. With his strong creative thinking skills, he serves as the lead consult at Toda Consult Limited, offering business registrations, trademark, branding, and strategic advisory services. A graduate of accounting, you know, is actually he's actually the best person. He's the best person to take this particular topic. So right now we are going to be having Mr. Ibe Kelechi on stage. Like I said, if you have any question, please do well to share it live on Facebook. Let's know where you are watching from, also your name and where you are watching from. And if you have done that, if you have any question, also drop them in the comment section. Thank you. Let's have the countdown and then we can bring in our guest. All right, I think we have him here already. We have him here already. Welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Thank you for the short and powerful presentation just now. I wrote down something you said. You said your brand is not who or what you say it is. Your brand is what your customer says it is. So many people just know that they believe they they have a business because they give a lot of, you know, they are the one doing the branding themselves. Dangote does not have to start saying, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. It's we that speak for him because he has built credibility on that business. So my assignment here is very simple. Thank you. I can see your comment. Olamide. My assignment here is very simple, and I would want us to have that interactive session. It's about legality in business. Legality in business. How well does a business owner, um, have that legal compliance? How well do you see that your business is legal in Nigeria? I think majority of our audience will be in Nigeria. So how well do we see that? So okay, first off, I would want to ask a question, and it's a very simple question that we can relate with. So it's something that I want us to put our heads together and just look at it. Um, would you buy or partner with a company that is not registered? Let's say you have two options as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and you want to purchase something, and you are checking, okay, is this one registered? Is this one not registered? So which will you go for? Can I have comments? Which will you go for? Will you go for a business that is doing well? The business is excellent. The business is doing everything possible it can do. It's thriving, but yet it's not registered. Or you go for the one that is registered and can still even match up with, let's say, 80% excellence. So which will you go for? Can I have comments? Can I have comments on the comment section? Quickly, we don't have time. Thank you. I need comments. Can we hear me? Can we hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
All right. So thank you. I cannot. Okay, yes, I would definitely go for a registered business because I can trust such a business. Thank you. So a brief story to capture, just to bring us together. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, had there's this church, celebration church. Yeah, they had this skill acquisition, and This friend of mine actually, did well, passed, and was shortlisted for a loan or a grant of £1 million. This friend of mine was shortlisted for a grant of £1 million. And what happened was this person got to the day of a day of like disbursement. They wanted to disburse the amount, the 1 million to the winners, to the people that were shortlisted. And okay, so everybody send your account details. And this friend of mine has been, seeing my page on Instagram, seeing my page on, brand and everything is okay. But this person went for went to submit personal details, sent her GT account, 1 million is coming in. And all of a sudden she got a mail that she needs a corporate account, not a personal account. And she reached out to me and said, told her, please help me with CAC. I want to go and open an account. And that was on a Friday. CAC works only on Monday to Friday. And there's no how I can even register your business that same Friday because there are processes. I'll take us through the process of making your brand legal. Making your brand legal. So this person actually missed that opportunity. Why? Because she had everything in place but felt like registering the business is secondary. Let me tell you something. Legality or legalizing your business is a brand strategy. Legalizing your business is a brand strategy. Many times people just feel it's about the logo, it's about that's part of branding, is strategy for it. But one of the things that solidify the trust of your customer is that brand is registered. Is registered. If you have not registered your business, you have registered your business, try put it up there. Put it up there. Put your CAC document up there to show that yes, you are registered. One of the things it does is not just a paperwork. CAC registration is not just a paperwork. It sends a message. It's saying that you are real. It's saying that you can be trusted. It's saying that you are accountable. It's saying that you can trust us. That is what it's saying. CAC certificate is not just a paperwork. It's not just something that you use courage to do and just by the way, by the way, by the way. So legalizing your business is a brand strategy. So your trust begins when your brand is legalized. People begin to trust your business. Now I face this, part of what the host, told me is to make this more practical, and I'm really going to, engage us. I've seen how people want to register a business or they want to build a brand and they're like, this name is not a name that I can really use. I want a name that people can easily pronounce. And I want to ask you a question. If you are to pronounce Dangote with with no, you don't have idea of what Dangote is into. Do you know you are going to pronounce something like Dangote or Dangote or something? You're just going to give a very funny pronunciation. But one of the things that makes the name sweet is that branding. This man is legalized. This man knows how to build that trust. He has legalized his business through trademark, and we are going to do all of those things. So credibility gains your customer confidence. So partners, investors, angel investors, corporates, when your business is legalized, and CAC is not just the only legal document you should have. CAC is not just the legal document you have. It adds that level, that layer of professionalism to your business. It adds that layer of professionalism to your business that separates you from others. Let me tell you something. One of the ways to also beat your competitors is to legalize your business. Is to legalize your business. So legalizing your business is a brand strategy, and I want you to key into that. So how no, I want to register my business now. How do I start? How do I start? Since it's part of the ways of branding. So how do I start? Where do I start from? I have a business. Nigerians can be very funny. They want to do everything. You are a tailor, you're a fashion designer, you are cutting hair, you're an hairstylist, you are baking. What else I do? You are selling cars. So there are a lot of things there's a way you can, want to do everything. And let me tell you, having to, choose the right name for your business is something that matters, because there's a way you can choose a name that limits your operation in the business. For example, you want to go into all of these things that I've just said, and the name of your business is now Toda Cakeries. You have limited it to only baking of cakes. You can't go into hairstyling. What do you want to? Is there an hairstyle called cake shuku? There's nothing like that. Cake crow. There's nothing like that. So you really need to understand how to generate a name. So we can have compound names. You can have even the categories of business. So for legalizing your business, for business registration, you have business name. You have business name. You have, so these are the categories of business registration that I'm telling you for CAC. Yeah, for CAC. That's the first place you should even start from. Corporate CAC is not Christ Apostolic Church. It's not cash and carry. CAC is Corporate Affairs Commission. It's a commission or a parastatal in Nigeria that regulates the opening, the winding up, the regulation of businesses. So if your business is registered, do you know what it says? Do you know the advantage it gives you? Nobody can register that name again. Kai, it's just you, only you. You are the one using the business. Like, this is my name. You are the CEO. There are a lot of CEOs without certificates, a lot of people that has that, strong, it is where you should start from, actually. So we'll go into that. We'll go into that. It's where you should start from. Registering your business with CAC before we even talk about trademark. But let's talk about CAC now. So CAC is Corporate Affairs Commission. We have three major categories of CAC registration. That's a business name. You have a business that you are a solo entrepreneur. You are just only you, and it has low risk. It's easy. One man business. That's business name. It's low cost. Cost you less than how much to get it done. And you have the company limited liability. The company limited liability is for a company that, invites the presence of the public to subscribe for his shares, and he has the presence of directors, shareholders, witnesses, person with significant control. So all of those things are things that, and it has the capacity to outlast even the owner of the business. So we have different shares, and it varies like that. So private company limited by share, that's a company. So for NGOs, you have a foundation, you want to impact the community, so you have a foundation, you have a church, a mosque, a club, those ones fall under NGO. And so these ones, they vary. So the kind of business you want to register will determine the category your business will fall into. You don't just, come and say, okay, you want to register a school. You can register a school under an NGO or a private company limited by share. You cannot register a school under business name, because there are some generic words. You cannot say in the nature of business that you are teaching in, and you are registering a business name. It does not work like that. CAC will decline that application. So that's one of the beauty of CAC. So register that business. It is a branding strategy. Nobody is using it. So how about you checking now and you're seeing that your logo is used by somebody? You have that legal right to say, Alpha, that is my that's my, what's the name? You are using my logo, and you file the lawsuit for the person. So registering your business also, I'm sorry, registering your business also gives you that access to growth opportunities. You cannot have a corporate account if your business is not registered. Now, having done that, wonderful advert, and you have a lead, and the government is coming to you to say, okay, we want to sow this about 150 apron to share to people that just learned how to bake. And you're like, oh yes, so you want to send your account number, you're sending BCO Titilolu OP. It doesn't work that way. They won't take you serious. They won't take you serious. So one of the things you use to legalize your business, to build that trust, is one of the things to build that trust is your corporate account. You're sending that name, the bank name, and it looks more professional. So you are eligible for grants, you're eligible for loans, you're eligible for for government contracts when your business is registered. So I've talked about the types of business registration, and I would want to also talk about the trademark. Aside CAC, there's also something called trademark registration. Trademark is you are trademarking your logo, you're trademarking your name. For example, I can trademark. I've done that. Trademark Toda, trademark Toda, just Toda. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to miss this. So trademark Toda. Now Toda is Toda Consult, yeah, right? So but trademark Toda or trademark that name, just that name. You're trademarking that name. And when you trademark that name, you trademark your slogan. Nobody's using your slogan. Like there's no company on in Nigeria now that can use anywhere you go. Whenever you hear anywhere you go, you see the MTN logo, you see the color, you just know that this is MTN. Nobody can use that. Nobody can do that again. Nobody can. So trademark secures your brand. CAC gives you that legal standing, legal identity. It makes your business legitimate. It gives you that legal. But trademark gives your brand no D and a B and a C. That's the kind of logo you are putting out there. Nobody is using that logo because you've trademarked it, and you have the right, the legal right to file for lawsuit for anybody that is using that kind of logo. So trademark, we have different. We have the reservation. You reserve your name. You get an acknowledgement letter from from the trademark. Then what's the name? You get the acceptance document from trademark. So that's one of the things you should pay attention to. And so trademark gives that. I'm sorry, trademark protects your brand from intellectual theft. There are people that will just sit up there and they just want to use that name, they just want to use that branding, they just want to use that brand color. And please, I would say this, in adding voice to what Mr. Daniel said, let your designs be consistent. Let your designs be consistent. Today you're using red, tomorrow you're using blue, next tomorrow you're using indigo. That's not the way it's done. You're confusing your audience, you're confusing them. So build that build that consistency. Build that consistency. So it adds brand, equity and valuation. When you trademark, it adds brand equity and valuation. So protect your brand. Avoid it. Trademark tells you to avoid brand theft. There are people, there are graphic designers, very funny people. They just sit down, look for your design and try to modulate it into what they want to. You have the right to, file that lawsuit against someone that is using your company identity out there. But many a times we don't pay attention to it because we just feel like, oh, what we need is the money. No, you're not just building. You're not. One of the things legalizing your business does to you is it removes that hustler mentality. You are building a legacy with your business. You're not hustling. You're not trying to get 2K into your account. That's not what you're doing. You are building something that will outlast you. You are good building something that will outlast you. So I think uh I've touched basically everything that I would want us to talk about. I want to entertain questions. Your business is headless if it's not legalized. Sorry to say, it is headless. It does not have head. Fine clothes, fine shoe, but it's headless. No, no this thing. So a brand without a legal identity is a house without foundation. Imagine that. Is a house without foundation. It just makes it looks good on the outside, but it cannot stand challenges. Every business has that phase. We have something called industrial cycle. So um, so I think this is enough, foundation to help you see you need to legalize your business, legalize your brand. CAC, I've mentioned total. So there are basic compliance documents that a company should have. Let me just chip that in. Basic compliance document. Basic. One is a CSA certificate. So is what's the name? You have your trademark. Three, you have your TIN, your tax identification number. And the fourth one, depending on the kind of business, your SCUML. SCUML is special control for money laundering. Yeah, so it's by EFCC. You have that. If you have an NGO, you have a church, you have an account that a lot of money is coming into. You need that certificate. So SCUMEL, you need a bank. You need a bank account, a corporate bank account, not just all this what's the name, your personal account. Your business is separate from you. Business is separate from you. Do you understand that? There's something called entity concept in accounting. It is separate from you. That is how your business lasts. That's how it lasts. It's separate from you. If you take any money from your business account, it's a loan. It's not your money, it's your business money. But you have that consciousness when you legalize your business. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you legalize your business. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. So remember I said a man with a beautiful clothes that is headless is likened to a business that has a good branding but it is not registered. So registering your business gives your brand head. Thank you. All right. So Daniel,
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Ibe. Let's entertain one or two questions before we
thank you.
before we are off from this topic. All right. Can you okay, let me start with these questions. And with this question I mean many
Okay.
entrepreneurs operate informally for years. Many entrepreneurs
Mm,
operate informally for years. What are the risks of not registering a business legally, especially in Nigeria?
all right. So let me quickly say this. There was this man that wanted to register his business, and he came in and said he wants to register his business. So I told him that, oh, this business, oh, this name, I've done the search, and unfortunately, somebody else is using this exact name. And the man said, funny enough, he said he has prayed to God that that business name is his own. I said it doesn't work like that. He said he has prayed that I should do it. It will work. So we have many people that are listening to us right now, Mr. Daniel. Many entrepreneurs operating their business right now and trying to procrastinate. I will register. You stand a risk of losing that name. You stand a risk. You know what you are doing? You are building a brand for somebody. You are building another that I'm trying to answer the question practically now because that man was he was just so he was just so destabilized. So where will he start from? He has to go and start designing a logo again. He has to start, changing his Instagram page again. He has to start informing the public again what people have already known him for. So he has no choice than to register another name. So he stands the risk of losing the name that he has been laboring with for years. Do we understand? Do you understand what I just said, Mr. Daniel?
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you. We've gotten that. There
Yes,
is also
thank you.
another question coming from our guests, from our users on YouTube. From
Okay.
okay, let's take Miss Nifemi's on first. There are two questions presently from YouTube. How long does the registration process take? I think
Usually
how
take.
long usually take from start to finish?
Okay, like I said, so when I was talking, I talked about three categories. We have the business name. Funny enough, business name will take you just 3 to 5 working days. 3 to 5 working days. In a week, you get your business registered. For business name, for company, also in a week, you get your business registered. Though sometimes we have these issues with CSC portal where um, they have this network glitch and all. So in a week, in 3 to 5 working days, you get your business registered. But for NGO is quite different. The reason is this: the process is different for NGO or for incorporated trustee. Sorry, so we have business name, company limited, and incorporated trustee. That's IT. So for the incorporated trustee, there's something we do. We do newspaper publication, and we publicize that name on the newspaper, and it's allowed to stay for 28 working days. It's allowed to stay for 28 working days. So when it stays for 28 working days, that's more like you're already going close to like a month. So NGO usually take like, let's say, 2 months, 3 months to get uh, to to finish it from start to finish. But for business name and company, you just within 3 to 5 working days, 7 working days, you're done with it. You're done with it. So
All
but
right.
for the
All
trademark,
right.
yes, for the oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you wanted to mention the trademark. Go ahead, sir. You
Yeah,
wanted to say
yeah,
something about trademark.
the trademark, the process is different. Process is different. You have to search, and so the trademark takes for like roughly like a month to get it done. A month. That's like 28 working days. 28
Okay,
working days.
thank you, sir. That's really, really, really clear. All right, Cynthia, we saw that. Thanks for joining from South Africa. We saw that comment. Watching live from South
Oh,
Africa
wow.
is beautiful to have you here. Also, we have one more question from YouTube from Mr. Alo Undubisi. What of in a case you are just starting out, aiming to grow your brand to a company, but due to the risk level, you decided to start with just a business name first? What's your advice on this, Mr. Kelechi?
Yeah, most people start with business name first. There are people that they have this fear of the tax that company attract. So they start with business name. CSC gives a provision for upgrade. CSC gives a provision for upgrade. But personally, I don't really advise people to, you know, register business name first before they now go to register what's the name? Company. I just advise that you go for company. But CAC gives a provision. You give a provision for if you have a business name, you can use the business name. Then you also upgrade to what's the name company later in the future. There's a provision for that. But I advise personally that if you have that company in view, go ahead and register for a company. Why go for a business name? Because of the truth, it's still going to charge you. It's still going to cost you the same thing if you're registering for a company, and it's going to even cost you more because you register for the business name, you now upgrade. The same money you're using to upgrade is the same money you're using to just pay for the initial payment for the company. And let me also say this, I forgot to say this, Mr. Daniel, I'm sorry. There's something called annual returns. Annual returns. It's more like a rent fee for business owners on CAC portal. Failure to pay. Now, I hope I've answered this question, but I just remembered, and it's something I promise to tell every business owner. Please make sure you pay your annual returns. You're making profit or you're not making profit. It's not CAC concern. You need to stay active on your business on the CAC portal because any investor that comes to invest in your company, any sensible investor will do something called a CAC search. When they search the portal for CAC, they go to check if the business is active or inactive. It is active when you have been faithful to filing your annual returns. And for the annual returns vary depending on the business and the company. So if you have a business that is all right. I'm so sorry for that. Can we hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
All right. So I was saying something on the annual return. The annual return. The annual return is like a rent fee that we pay. We pay to CAC annually. But for the first, when you register your business, you are given a grace of 18 months. That's a year and 6 months. You are given a grace to come together and pay it. So annual returns is something that every business owner should pay attention to. Else, your business will be inactive on the CAC portal. So for the other man, Mr. MBBC, that was asking um, if he should, you know, what advice I can give. Personally, I would say register as a company, or if better still, you feel like okay, I can still, just register. Yeah, what of in the case where you're just aiming to grow your brand to a company, but due to the risk level, yeah. So business is all about risk. Business is all about risk. You cannot be a successful businessman if you are a risk averse. Something called risk averse, risk lover. You need to love risks for your business to thrive. So embrace company registration. And that's my advice on it. As your question states, that is my advice on it. So embrace company registration. Mr. Daniel,
All
over to
right.
you, sir.
Just one question before we wrap it up. Just one question before we wrap up this session. There is someone on YouTube that says, "Is the annual returns also necessary for business registered in Nigeria, but operates outside? I think operates in South Africa."
Yeah. So that kind of business, as long as it is registered with CAC, you need to pay the annual return. As long as that business is registered with CAC, you need to pay the annual return. If it's registered in South Africa, recently we registered a business in Ghana. That business is we pay the annual returns to Ghana, not Nigeria. So if you have a business that is registered in Nigeria but operates in South Africa, the business is registered in Nigeria, so definitely has to abide by the laws binding the businesses that are registered in Nigeria. So it's registered with CAC, it has to be faithful with its annual returns, its annual filings. So it files it yearly, and yeah, it files it yearly. So yeah, that works for us.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. A lot of questions are dropping, but we don't want to leave
Oh,
our audience confused. So let's have one more. There's still one more from
okay.
Olamide. Can I decide to register a business I have not started yet? Can I decide to register a business I have not started yet? I think that should be the last question. Mr. Kelechi, what
Yes, you
advice
can.
do you give?
Yeah, you can register a business you've not started. You can register a business you've not started. It's even a very wise decision because the business name you are thinking nobody is thinking about. Somebody is thinking about it somewhere. Somebody somewhere is thinking that nobody is thinking about the business name. And it's like, let me register it. So it's advisable you do that. You can register the business. Register the business even if you've not started. Register the business and just stay faithful to the annual filings. Stay faithful to the annual filings, but register the business. You can register the business to secure the name. You can also, let's say you reserve the name, because you can reserve a name for 60 working days. You can reserve a name for
Yeah.
60 working days. So,
Wow.
yeah, so if you reserve the name, that works for you. Thank you so much,
All
Mr.
right.
Daniel.
That's a beautiful session from Mr. Kelechi. You've actually answered a lot of questions, and I'm very sure everybody here, you just need to go back to this section and learn a lot of things again in your free time. Just go back to this particular section and go through the videos again. Remember, brand building. Brand building is not a one-time action. Brand building is never a one-time action. It is your daily decision to show up. All right. So stand out and serve your customers with excellence. I come again. It's not when you are building a brand, it's not just a one-time thing. Like, okay, I've registered my business, then that is all. Or you showed up today and that is all. No, it needs to be consistent because attracting a customer, is just compared to getting you a sale. All right, it's like getting you a sale. You've attracted the customer to your brand, so that customer can eventually become can convert to a sale. That's what I'm trying to say. So keeping that customer well can actually get you a business, and the loyal customer is worth more than 1,000 followers. All right. A paying and loyal customer is worth more than 1,000 followers. Serve your customers with excellence. Thank you, Mr. Kelechi, for that eye opener. A lot of people, persons, CEO, creative directors are
Thank you
running
so
an
much, sir.
unregistered business. Yes, they're running an unregistered business, but
Yeah,
you've brought solutions to all of that. And I'm very sure people are still eventually going to come back to this video and learn one or two things. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi. It's been beautiful to have you here. It's been a wonderful
Thank you
session,
so
and I
much.
think a lot of questions will still be asked. And we are going to find a means of answering these questions on our platform. So if you are not following us, ensure you are following us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. All right, thank you. Thank you. That's just a little of what our brand offers. Yes. So we have to go through some other subtopics and we'll be done with this webinar in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm quickly going to run through some, he has spoken about business legalities. So these are things you need to put in place to make your business stand out. We talked about brand positioning. Position your brand to a level where your competitors will not attack you later because you are running an unregistered business. So don't get a contract that you are competing with somebody, another company, and they win you over that business just because your business is an unregistered one. I'm very sure you don't want to make that mistake. All right, so let's quickly look into customer attraction and retention. After all this brand positioning, registering your business, you must have some knowledge on how to attract customers and also how to retain them. Attracting a customer is not the problem. In fact, it is the simplest thing to do. But retaining that particular customer is what you need to understand. You know, customers attraction means strategies that you use to bring in customers. That is the attraction part. Strategies, ideas, creativity that you use to attract these customers. Then the retention means the strategy you use to keep customers, not only customers now, existing customers that you have won, the strategy you use to keep them coming back. Remember, to get a customer is not the problem. To retain that customer, for them to keep on coming back, and back is the main solution to this customers attraction and retention. Remember, it is not just only about attracting customers, you also need to keep them. And a returning customer is cheaper to keep than attracting a new one. A returning customer is much more cheaper than attracting a new one. The customer you have served well and loved what you have done for them, you don't really need to do a lot of marketing to them again. You don't need to market or spend money to market to them again. Just because you have delivered a nice service to them automatically wins them back to you. Why are both important? Why are both important? Both the customer attraction and customer retention. Attention grows your business. Remember, these are key points I really want to share before we call the meeting off. Attraction grows your business, but retention sustains your business. Attracting customers, it means that okay, we are good, we are doing the right thing. You are attracting the customer. But retention, being able to retain them and then offer different services to them at the same time, is what sustains that business. It's what makes the business continue to grow. Studies shows that five, times 5% of more expensive. Studies show is 5 times more expensive to attract a new customers than to keep an old one. All right. Studies have shown. Of course, it's something that we all have an idea about. 5 times, studies shows it is 5 times more expensive to attract a customer than to keep one. When you have offered enough good service to a customer, automatically they want to come back for more. Right. So rather than spending money on marketing or more effort to get new customers, those ones you've attracted, you can use beautiful service that you have rendered to retain them. Loyal customers eventually become your brand ambassadors because they keep on referring others. I want us to understand the concept of customers attraction and retention. Loyal customers can become your brand ambassadors. I have discovered brands that have even stopped doing marketing just because they have rendered the service to a level that you have no choice. When it gets to somebody needing that service, you are the first to refer them. You are the first to mention their name wherever. That is because a brand has decided to, know how to attract and retain their customers. So their customers automatically become brand ambassadors that market for them. Right. So I'm going to give us some strategies to keep on attracting and retaining your customers. Number one is clear value proposition. Tell people exactly how your offer differs. Tell people exactly how your offer differs. Tell people exactly how your offer solves their problem. As a brand strategist, I've seen a lot of people come to me about their business and all of that. And one of the things I do is to just access their profile link, their page link, their business portfolio, and everything. And most of them have discovered that what you are offering is just the normal thing. It doesn't answer why people need to buy from you. It doesn't answer why people need you to solve their problem. You have not given them a reason to patronize you. You keep on posting about your business, but you have never engaged them on why they need to patronize you. Right? You need to have a clear value proposition. Tell people how your offer solves their problem, not to just bring in your business. All right. You also need to understand social media marketing. Mr. Kilishi has mentioned that you need to be consistent. He mentioned that you need to be consistent. You need to be engaging. You need to be engaging on your social media handles. All right, don't post today, and then the next time you are opening your Facebook profile is 3 days. Is the next 3 days. You need to be able to, be consistent and engaging your handles. You also need referral programs. These are a lot of things companies do that they won't tell you. They give you commissions for inviting others. And one of the companies I've seen do that very well is Opay. In fact, they give you huge amount of money just because they want you to refer a client. All right. You also need to, online apps. You can decide to invest in adverts. You can decide to invest in marketing. Like I said, all these things doesn't cost much. We're not talking about marketing today. So I think in our other subtopics or other webinars, we can decide to go fully into marketing. But for now, let's still limit it at that. We can also, for your customer attraction strategies, you can also invest in partnerships and collaborations. You can invest in partnerships and collaborations, leverage other people's audience. There's a way you can do all of those things professionally. You partner with somebody that you feel is doing well in this industry than you. You leverage on their audience. People also get to know you through that person. Like I said, attracting a customer actually gets you a sale automatically once you've attracted that customer. You just need to do a little more work to convert that customer into your own into a sale. Exactly, into a sale. So that is that for customer retention. And lastly, let's quickly delve into powerful low cost promotion strategies. I'm just going to be sharing some ideas with you how you can this is going to be the last section though, how you can easily run some low cost promotion strategies. There are a lot of people that always complain, do they have to pay big money to run adverts before they make sales online? I can tell you, you don't always need to make sale. To run adverts. You don't always need to run adverts. You don't always need to spend so much money. There are low cost promotion strategies. Number one is posting consistently on your social media handles. Posting consistently on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on Twitter. All these things, it doesn't even cost you anything than just your data. You need to use educational, entertaining, and some behind the scenes content. Let people know how you package their product. A video of you making the product, a video of you rendering that service. Let people see that. Educational content. You can also decide to go live, just like we are now. You can decide to go live, showing people how you really do these things. Right? You going live and showing them doesn't mean they want to start it. It's just like showing yourself out there for them to know that this is what you are really into. All right. And lastly, use relevant hashtag. Use relevant hashtag. When you're posting on Facebook, you're posting on Instagram, you're posting on TikTok, ensure to use hashtags. Don't just post and leave there. Ensure you use your hashtags. Remember, I said if you don't position your brand, someone else is going to position their own. And your brand is not what you say it is. It is what your customers remembers it to be. I want to say thank you so much for joining the webinar this night. In fact, we spent 1 hour 30 minutes presently. It's been a beautiful webinar with even with our guest. It shed more light on a lot of business legalities and issues that might be affecting business owners. And I think, and I'm very sure, the recording for this webinar today is going to be available on our YouTube channel. So you can always check back to see this video. You can just go through it again. The customers attraction strategies, the brand positioning, the low cost promotion strategies. These are things you can watch again so that you can, improve your knowledge and your idea. Like I said, my name is Daniel Ajayi, and I have team members working with me. We have teams that, how to put all of this together, showing our faces, showing our slides, showing our videos, showing the comment from Facebook. We also want to appreciate our Facebook audience. Thank you for joining on Facebook. Thank you for your reactions. Thank you for your comments. And also saying a thank you to those on YouTube. Thanks for your comments. Mrs. Madimona from South Africa, we appreciate you. Mr. Alon Dubusi, you're cited. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. It's been a beautiful moment. And also, the brand is a brand that offers web development services, branding services, and marketing services. So at any point where you need clarity about whenever you need marketing strategies, you need branding strategies, you need web development strategies, you feel like your business can thrive more better if you have an app. You feel your business can thrive more better when you have a website. We are your go-to persons. You can reach out, and we offer a brand clarity session. Right? We offer a brand clarity session where you can speak to us about your brand. We can help you go through your profiles, go through your business portfolio, let you know where and where we can come in to help you, what things and what you need to improve your pages. I want to say thank you so much for joining the webinar this night. The webinar has officially come to an end. I want to say thank you so much for joining. See you another time.